Right, okay, ready?
Action.
So, welcome to another episode of the Old World Show, round 2. We're going to have a quick rundown of a couple of tournaments from the weekend. A lot of Old World action happening at the moment. Tournaments are starting to pick up, which is nice. And we picked 2 tournaments that we like the look of. One from the UK and one from Australia. So to kick us off, look at the first tournament we got here. Was the event held at the TSN Arena in Nottingham, and I believe it was called an Affair of the Miscasting Wizards. Usually good event. I think it was 24 players. Is that right? At this one?
Yeah, 24.
24. And good showing by the looks of it. Quite a nice spread of armies. So jumping straight into the third place list we got on here, as they did a nice top 3. We've got a Warriors of Chaos army. Run by Jack Cropper, and what he had here, just a quick rundown, was Chaos Lord on Dragon, Golric, 7 Chaos Knights, 2 to 5 Warhounds, 2 to 5 Forsaken, 2 single Dragon Ogres, and the lovely Warp Fire Dragon. So, triple Dragon build. What's our thoughts on this?
I love Garrick. I think he's so cool. It's not. I don't think he's very. I mean, he can be quite. What's the word? Unreliable, potentially.
Yeah. Jack said he was hard to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just so cool.
Did you chat to Jack about this after the game?
Yeah, he posted a couple of comments on his list. He did say that he enjoyed playing Triple Dragon, but he did find the Golruk was the harder one to use of the 3. It was pretty much, you couldn't really use him unless you comboed him with the other dragons.
Yeah, it goes off the res a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. So the other 2 are very good, though. The Chaos Lord and the Warp Fire Dragon are both excellent. And I think if you want to do Triple Dragon, probably the better way to do it is maybe to have a Sorcerer on the Dragon as well. But you have to really cut back on all the upgrades. You have to basically have 2 naked dragons, which, to be fair, like Chaos are one of the only factions that can do that because they've got a built-in 5-up ward. They have a double save dragon at the base value of the points, and you don't need a mark. Like marks are nice, but they don't actually make the lords and sorcerers like absolutely tick. You can definitely run undivided.
Do you have any points for any sort of favour the gods in
you have 1 favour on the Chaos Lord.
Because that could help boost these up if you've got no items at all. Let's just get the RNG going with the favours.
But like a Demonology Sorcerer and Dragon Lord, like that, the demonic favours where it gets the mount and him gets a strength, AP, and attack. Like Dragon going to 7 strength, 8 attacks.
Affects them out as well.
Yeah, affects them out. It's gonna absolutely smash. Like that, both those dragons are very powerful, and with a Warp Fire Dragon 10-up ward save as well, it's pretty good. And it's just all out push. Like you're just pushing 1,000 points of more than 1,000, 1,400 points in 3 medals. And then you've got 500 points as hides at the back, right? Which you don't have to really use. It can just sit back. So it's a very one-dimensional list in terms of if you can deal with it, you can deal with it. But if you can't, it's very hard to deal with. Like this is like looking at Jack's list, I can see why it did well. Like there's not unless you're bringing anti-dragon tools, it's very hard to play against. I think he did play. I think he beat pretty much everybody apart from the first place.
So he lost the first place list, did
he? He did, yeah. He lost to the first.
So that list potentially, when we move on to it, is the one that can deal with Triple Dragon, is it? Interesting. What else would this list struggle against? Do you think dwarves?
Yeah, so I think. Well, I mean, he did say he missed the regen on the Chaos Lord. He didn't take the regen, and he took the Enchanted Aura instead, which is the fight last. But the issue with the Chaos Lord is he doesn't have a 2-up armor save. So against poison spam, he's a bit weak. And if someone just rolls loads of 6s to wound him, and you just fluff all your saves, then the guy can just die, like without a healing potion or without the smoothing out of having a 3rd save on him. That's why the regen item, even though people are moving away from it, I still think it's very good. It's still a really nice item to have.
Okay.
There's 2 versions, isn't there, of the regen items now, right?
Yes, there is. There's the Talisman of the Crow, which gives you poison and 5-up regen.
And the points are similar on those 2 items?
One's 5 points more for the poison upgrade. It's
5
pretty
points
good.
for poison. I'd probably take that.
Yeah, yep,
So,
it's pretty good.
very
That's
cool.
not bad. Okay, so interesting list. I liked it. I imagine obviously the rest of the supporting bits there. Eric, he's just sat there, they're there just because he has to, aren't they? Really, two
Yeah, I
single
mean,
dragon ogres. I quite like that too.
yeah,
Shit,
he's had to go halberds on them to try and. He's run out of points with his upgrades. I mean, I can see again, like unfortunately, Golrock is that he's locked in at 465, so you
Yeah.
can't do much about him, and so that's why he's had to take halberds on the Dragon Ogres. Not terrible halberds, but of course, Great Weapons is better than the halberds. So.
Can I ask? So obviously not played much against warriors or with warriors at all. What are the Chaos Knights adding to this list? Because quite a lot of points sunk into one unit.
Yeah, they're just a fairly choppy for a core. Like they've just got Mark of Corn, right? So they're going to be hitting pretty hard for their points. Like Chaos Knights are medium heavy cavalry because they don't have counter charge, I don't believe, but they do have first charge. And they have swift stride, so they don't have some of the good rules, but they are toughness 4 with a 3-up save, so they're quite durable for a core knight unit. I think they're strength 4 as well, base, so they're quite.
So
Again,
strength 6.
Yeah.
yeah, with Corns, they have 2 attacks each. Like, they're not terrible, but I like this list is just full push, isn't it? It's 3 big dragons, and you have a second wave of dragon ogres and knights behind them.
Don't forget there's Forsaken. There's Forsaken are good at
Yeah, and there's Slanesh as well, so they're going to be moving pretty fast.
Very cool. Very cool.
So changes wise to that, you'd look to try and just take a level 4. Can you fit it being level 4? Or does it have to be level 3?
Yeah, you can fit level 4.
Level 4.
But that is literally it.
Naked as
Yeah,
Just one baby.
He'll be naked, and then you'll probably have one favor. I think that fits perfectly. And that's if you want to do that route. Maybe it's better than Golrock because you can take demonology, you can take battle magic rather than dark magic, and he's just more survivable because he has more wounds. Like Golrock has 6 wounds with no ward. I think he has no ward save.
6.
Yeah, 6 wounds. Whereas the sorcerer dragon, he's only toughness 5, I believe, but he does get 8 wounds, and he gets the 4-up armor and a 5-up ward rather than having no ward. Because I think Golrock just has regen. He definitely misses one of the saves. He's not as survivable.
He's got full plate armor.
Yeah, he's definitely got full plate, but I don't. He either misses one. He definitely misses one of the saves that makes him feel a little bit more squishy than the other dragons. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's definitely a little bit squishy than the other dragons. The Warp Fire Dragon's great for its point. It's got regen built in, and it gets a ward save against magic and fire.
And he takes away other people's ward saves, right?
Yeah, including your own. So you have to be quite careful with him.
You're not bothering upgrading this Warp Fire Dragon ever, really, to level 2, are you? What a waste of place that'd be. Jack's not done that either.
Yeah, just to confirm, the Golrock has got regen, but no ward save. So against a Monster Slayer or something, you've got no save, you just die. Golrock does have the cool Breath of Change, like once per game. Once per game toughness check. But it is like one of those things, like if you roll a 6, you just kill anything in the game. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, like the randomness of him feels tricky to play with.
But anyway, he did a really good job showing.
Just before we move on, very quickly, did Jack feel like Garrick or Garak, however you pronounce it, does he feel like he ever cost him a game?
He didn't say that much detail, but he just said that he just was hard to control and wasn't as good as the other dragons, basically.
Fair enough.
Probably won't take it again.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Bro.
But yeah, did well. Coming 3rd place there, smashing it up.
Lovely.
Nice to see that list actually in action as well, because I've seen it talked about quite a bit, the Triple Dragon, but never actually seen any results, I don't think, actually, from a tournament with it. So that was good to see.
And it would look pretty sick.
I bet it looked amazing on the table.
Yeah.
I bet it was fun to play. Like I said, I know it's full send, but I bet it was good fun to play as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Second place. What have we got, Tom?
We got Ben Harper, and we have a Tomb King list. So I'll just very quickly run through it. So we've got a Tomb King on the Bone Dragon. We've got High Priest on a bone dragon, level 4.
Nice.
We've then got 3 skeleton chariots in the core. We've got 40 skeleton warriors, 14 skirmishers, 2 tomb scorpions. Then finally, in the rare, we have a necrosphinx, a casket, and a screamer skull with the -1 leadership skulls of the foe thing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think anything with big models as the centerpiece is really cool. To be
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, if you think about it as well, if you think of a necrosphinx as almost like a dragon, it's basically another triple dragon list. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go all in on dragons. If I was going to run double dragon, I think you're going to go
Double sphinx.
double sphinx. I think it just makes sense. But I guess he wanted the casket with the screaming skull to have a bit more of a dimension to his list, a bit more shooting to his list.
I get the casket pick as well because it's nice, a bit defensive piece if he's playing a little bit because he's got a bit of a defensive block going on there in his core and stuff. So
Yeah.
if he wants to play it sit back a little bit, then he's got the casket to help.
Yeah.
Range 18 as well for the -1 to hit is pretty tasty if you're fighting mid board, I guess.
Yeah.
Screaming Skull kind of forcing people to come a little bit towards you. What laws have gone on the High Priest?
He's gone necromancy. Yeah.
So he's got a little bit of play with the
Yeah,
leadership messing
so
about.
he can attack like lower leadership things. Like leadership 8 things are quite scared of skulls, vortex. Maybe he gets hex off as well. You might fall them. You're gonna kill most things at that point. Most like low leadership stuff.
The big thing there really is he doesn't have to full send with this list, which is quite important. He's not got one game plan, which I think kind of probably shows to the fact of why he came in second here with this and did really well. Is it's got a little bit of play to it, which is one of the good things about Tomb Kings in general. Is there's lots you can do with the army, lots of lists, lots of the same models, but that's old world for you. But there's lots of different ways you can sort of balance it all out. I think it's quite interesting. He's got the 1 Sphinx, 1 Casket, and 1 Catapult, so he's got a bit of a variety in there. He's took the double Scorpion like it's a tax, like you would for Motrical. I wonder if he realised.
The scorpions are just okay. Like I think at some point you run out of things to take, right? Because you take your core, which is 500 points. You take your characters. You take your rares. That's 500 points, and then you're just left with like 200ish points, right? So you're just like, okay, do I take more characters, more core, or do I just take a couple of scorpions? And the scorpions are okay. Like they're just kind of a bit of monster slayer. They're quite independent, aren't they? They can go and attack war machines and quite fast, right, with Vanguard and Swift Stride.
Yeah, that's a shame. Shame no ambush to be a pain in the ass, but and lower the drop count because what's he on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
That's 1, 6. Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. Items and stuff are pretty much what you go with there, and
what you'd expect to see.
Though, to be fair, actually, as a lie, the High Priest, a lot of the time, he seems to take illusion.
I think you either go illusion if you're not taking caskets and screaming skull catapults, right? But I think if you're going to take caskets and catapults, you kind of should lean into necromancy just because it's
the debuffs.
It's a good lore anyway, right? And then you're getting the debuffs.
Generally good, yeah.
And you're not then having to run this guy down people's throats. So it's like a bit more defensive.
Do anything, that's it.
You can keep him back and he just keeps his point safe, doesn't it, at this level?
That's what's nice. I like about it. Is actually it's not because that is traditionally what you'd see is the illusion. So I quite like that. I like that it's made that it's got that. What's the word I'm thinking of? Something with the rest of the list. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
It's got like a bit more redundancy, but like a bit more like synergy with the list.
Synergy. Thank you. That's it. It's got a bit of synergy with the rest of the list. So, actually, rather like that.
And the reserve move is great with these big behemoths. Being able to have a
reserve is great with absolutely anything. I don't think you have to take that away.
It's incredible. Yeah.
I don't think anything is bad with reserve move. What did he go? Wins, draws, losses wise.
He lost his one game. He lost to was Lewis's Vampire Counts.
He
lost 20-0 to Vampire Counts, which was
20.
Quite surprising to lose such a big loss. But those kind of games, they're often swung potentially by either a big scream or a big casket roll. And,
big crumble as well, maybe.
Yeah, so if the Tomb King die, because the screams can go through the Tomb King because there's no roll to wound, so they don't get to use the Armor of Ages.
Yeah.
And so if the if the guy doesn't, I don't think the Tomb King had any ward save. He didn't have Talus of Protection, so he has no ward, no armor, no regen against the scream. If he just rolls high, the king can just die on one scream if he gets unlucky, or two screams. So Potenta could have happened. Maybe the High King, also the High Priest, maybe also got affected by that. Don't know, but the caskets are normally great against vampire counts, so I'm quite surprised there was no. It was 20-0. That's quite a.
And the catapult as well, just bombard. I mean, I take it Lewis was running what 1-2
He
master.
was running his usual list he run at LGT, but he changed it to have
One
a.
zombie dragon.
Yeah, he put a magic weapon on the zombie dragon. That's all.
Green Knight.
Yeah, he put it at the Green Knight. Yeah.
So that's when you know someone's been tagged by the Green Knight.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, interesting. Okay, so he went. Is it 4-1?
4-1, yeah, 4-1, yeah, which is good.
That's good. Right then, what's in first place? What won this whole thing?
So in first place we had Ed Fawcett using his Dark Elves, which is very interesting because he's been using them for a while, and he's managed to get an overall win and now 5-0 and a GT win as well, which is good. So he's got Dreadlord on a dragon. He's got a Supreme Sorceress level 4 on a dragon. So 2 more dragons to add to the other 5 we've just mentioned.
Where's that dragon count?
He's got 8 Dark Riders, 8 Dark Riders, 8 Dark Riders with some scouts on a couple of them. He's got 6 Cold War Knights and then 3 into 5 Shades.
Was this exact same list as he took to LGT?
It is exactly the same list. So he was playing around. Actually, I don't know if I want to talk for him, but I will just say what I think he was thinking about. He was toying around with swapping the level 4 on a dragon to a level 4 and a level 2 without a dragon on a Pegasus or a steed. I think he decided that he just liked the way that the list kept its points. The fact that it was 1,000 points exactly of dragons, and it was very hard to interact with the rest of his list because it's all skirmishing, scouting, hiding stuff.
Yeah, I like that. And then just toking at 6 Cold War Knights there, just
yeah, which actually Cold War. I mean, I played against this list at LGT, and those Cold War Knights are pretty good. Like they have got high weapon skill with a 2-up save, and the T4, so they're like a really annoyingly hard to kill unit. That you think, they're just 6 knights, but actually they're pretty good.
The mounts are beastie as well on those.
Yeah. They're
with AP1 as well.
With the Banner of Haganeth, yeah, they have armor. They have AP1 and they have armor bane 1 as well, so they're pretty good.
Nice.
They're pretty hitty. They miss Swift Stride. They're missing one of the important rules. I think they have counter charge. I remember which one.
I don't think they have counter charge,
but they do have Swift Stride, don't they? Yeah, they have Swift Stride. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have. They're definitely one of the good rules. They're missing one of the good rules, but they have Fear. They have weapon skill 5, stupidity, which is at least a 10 with a Dreadlord. Like it's not too bad. And T4 with a 2-up save is still like even chosen knights have to pay a lot of points to get that, and these guys are much cheaper than chosen knights. So they're pretty good. I like them. And then the rest of the list, the Dark Riders and the Shades are just pure gunline platforms who are just doing a lot of shots. So they're not giving a lot of output, but they're just giving enough output to chip and kind of get points.
Did they run the veto system? Do you know at the TSN? Did they where you pick the maps? It's the mission's open order. Here's the cards.
Yeah, I think so.
Do a veto where you get rid of one, I'll get rid of one. That's what we're left with. Because I wonder how much impact that had for not just for the Ed's list here and for the others as well. Because I quite like that veto system.
It's good. I mean, it's useful because it means you can stop people taking the gun lines. Are less good at because they can't take the open boards, and the armies that rely purely on hiding can't take.
Or having a hill in their deployments and stuff like that.
Because
it makes a big difference for how he hides around the table with the rest of his stuff, doesn't it as well? So he had a good to win all 5 games, or did he
did.
Yeah, won all 5.
Yeah, won all 5. We should say as well, Ed has helped us a lot with the channel. So well done, Ed. Close Order as well.
We love Ed. Big up Close Order.
Yeah, check out Close Order.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think he was thinking that he's completed Dark Elves now. He's ticked
Yeah.
them off.
Yeah, it's asking for different list ideas now.
I mean, he'd been playing a lot of practice games, hasn't he, as well, and taking a list to another event there after coming off the back of the LGT doing really well. So well deserved that. To be fair,
Yeah, it's done
shows
really well.
practice pays off. Practice
Yeah.
pays.
It's interesting that the meta in this event was very heavy dragons. So I believe there was 15 dragons in this event.
15.
We've just gone through like 8
Seven.
There's
Seven.
seven.
I think there was 15 in total,
Wow.
which is quite a lot in 24 players. But I think the reason, if you're looking at the list, looking down the list, there's only 2 Bretonians, and the Bretonians didn't do as well in this event. They were 17th and 21st. So
Oh.
perhaps these players, maybe they didn't have a super optimized list, or perhaps they were just newer players. I don't know. But Bretonians are quite good into dragons if you have the right build and you know what you're doing against them. Also, there didn't seem to be too many gun lines. There seemed to be quite a few of those, and I think if someone brings a real heavy gun line, a real big dirty gun line, then I think
Was
you
it
can.
much dwarves?
There was a few dwarfs, I think a few, yeah, but didn't do super well. I know Jack Allen was there with his Skaven, so he wasn't running his Empire. He was
Oh,
running
yes.
his Skaven, which is a he's kind of purposely kind of trying to use them to try and get a. He's trying to get them working, and he did pretty well with them as well. So I think if you see those big counters like scream lists and lots of screams, gun lines, and maybe Bretonians, I think the dragons go down a little bit. But if you don't have those counters in the meta, then it's really hard to stop. Most armies just cannot deal with those dragons.
We realised that you'd have to build your army in a way to be able to face against dragons, which is lots of fast moving, skirmishing, abilities to avoid them, because avoiding that line of sight with with some fast moving units isn't that hard, as was found, or be able to just kill them. Which, to be fair, most people build dragons defensively nowadays, don't they? So it's not that easy to just quickly pick them off the table. But armies like that Skaven there, I imagine that's a lot of poison shooting, dancing around people's models.
Yeah, I think the thing with Escaping is it's not a pure avoidance list. It has big bricks that
Can
can
go for brick,
that can
character brick.
yeah. He had a storm vermin unit which they're good. I mean they can actually challenge out a dragon and potentially win on combat res. And I think he had illusion as well. But if the dragons do get in and they do manage to get through the challenges, they will start munching those units, and they're not fast enough to get out of the way. Once they're getting charged. So yeah, and you haven't got the Falcon Horn to slow them down. Which makes Falcon Horn makes a huge difference. Like if you just playing dragons without Falcon Horn is pretty horrible.
Yep. I dread the day of not playing Bretonians and playing against something that can actually fly around. It can be very upsetting. Right. Well, that was. It sounds like a good tournament. Interesting list there. Top 3. Interesting meta with the Bretonians not doing very well at this one. That's interesting. Not many people. I mean, I'd say 2 out of 24 isn't many people taking Bretonians there. So yeah, that was quite an interesting one. So the second tournament we've got here in Australia. Does anybody know whereabouts in Australia this was?
I think it was Sydney.
Sydney. It's called Mother of All Battles.
Moab.
And do we know how many players were at this event? How big was this tournament?
33, did we say? 32, 33?
I remember it being sizable for what we're
pretty big for a 5-day.
Hang on, I've got it here. It's 33. Yeah, 33.
Yeah.
So 5 games, you mean, was it? 5 games.
Yeah.
It was at 22.50 as well, interestingly. So slightly different.
Yeah, that used to be the standard. Like that to 2,500 used to be the standard. So I think there's some play with the points. 2,250 does feel very nice. It's like you get everything you want at that level.
Exactly, all the time.
How many lists have you wrote where an extra 250 points just to bump up the percentages for characters and rares, whatever?
Right, that's all you do, isn't it?
It would just make the list perfect.
You can tell. This is my opinion anyway. You can tell they have written the restrictions for 2,000 points. Like the fact you can't fit double steam tank in perfectly is a reason for me. Like as soon as you can take double of anything like that. It's like, oh my goodness, it's such a big change to the game.
But double steam tank, I think, would make Empire a lot better. So
Yeah, it would be very good.
it'd be interesting if Empire won this tournament because of that. So let's have a look then. So we've got the top 3 list again here. We'll have a look at, and then we'll have a little chat about what the meta looked like overall as well. So in third place at this Australian tournament, we have a Bretonian list. So it was Bretonians run by Michael Duke, which I think is the most fitting name for a Bretonian player.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he has a Duke, and a Baron, Prophetess, and a Paladin. 3 units of 5 Knights Errants, 2 units of 9 Mounted Knights of the Realm, 4 Pegasus Knights, and 5 Grail Knights. Interesting stuff.
So not a flying circus here, right? Not
a flying circus. No Green Knight. And I don't believe, what is this? This isn't Exiles. This is Errantry Crusade, right?
Errantry Crusade, yeah.
That's a pure Chad. That's a pure Chad.
Yeah, in your face. There's a few things I'd like to just mention on this. I think it's really interesting that he's not taken a virtue at all on that Duke. There's nothing.
He's virtueless. He is.
Virtueless.
Pegasus Crusader's Lance, which is the +3 strength, +3 AP or something. AP3 is it? Something
like that? No, it's hatred +2 strength. Let me have a look.
And it gives you extra attacks as well. It's a pretty good. It's an
I was way off.
Go with Virtue of the Joust, and it gives you reroll hits and wounds. Quite nice, but he's gone nothing.
He's got Gromwell Great Helm, so he's been defensive. So he's got the nice 2-up rerolling ones that we like to see on the big guys. The Baron's the same. Well, no, the Baron's got Virtue Knightly Temper with the heart. The Heartwood Lance. I think what was the Heartwood Lance?
That's the one.
+3 strength, -3 AP.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That's what I say. It wasn't too hard. Okay, he's got.
Have you seen the Prophetess though? Look at that.
He's on a Barded Pegasus on the Baron as well.
Uh-huh.
The Prophetess. Okay, so Prophetess is level 4, Bretonian Warhorse, Lore Familiar, Ogre Blade, and Illusion on a Warhorse as well. Okay, because I suppose he has got the blocks of knights there to keep her in. But I'd love to see her on a Pegasus. And the Paladins, BSB, Crusade.
I can imagine to be able to model that as Prophetess with a fucking massive sword.
It looks so good. It looks so good.
I mean, Special Doppelganger with the Ogre Blade's cool, but I would have preferred it with the Heartswood Lance personally.
You do like the Heartswood Lance, don't
you? I like the Heartswood Lance combo. And also, a Prophetess with a Lance. Now that's a funny model.
Yeah. So, and obviously this, Grail Knights as well. That's an interesting choice because
Errantry Crusade is you got to be, like I said, you got to be a Chad on this. It's pure impetuous. Everything's impetuous apart from the Duke, which is mad. The fact you can have like a whole impetuous army, and the Grail Knights. I'm assuming that's where the BSB is going. They're going to have Frenzy with that banner as well. So you've got like no control of this army. It's just going to go full send. It does get +1 charge, and it does get reroll 1s on the mounted unit. So they are really good at charging. Like they can go from really distant, like far away.
They need to break you on the charge, don't they?
That's just it, isn't it? They don't break. That's 211 points just stuck there, doing not that much. Also, the Crusader's Lance. Sorry, Andy, just to confirm, the Crusader's Lance is +2 strength, -2 AP, Arbane 2, Furious Charge, and Hatred. So it's actually quite nice.
But interestingly, this Michael Duke didn't actually lose a game. He went 3 wins and 2 draws.
Interesting. I wonder can you see what he drew against? What caused him the issue?
He drew against the Dark Elf army.
Dark Elves
with a double dragon build.
Oh, nice.
Did Ed make it all the way to Australia as well?
He did, yeah. He was there at the same time. Perhaps using that time difference there. And he drew against a Wood Elf army as well with a dragon. So,
okay. That's
you know what? Getting the draw against Double Dragon without really a flying circus and with no heroic to one-shot the actually quite nice. That's well played.
Yeah, so no like heroism, which would have obviously made a big difference in those games.
Mm-hmm. Or even just the speed to get around his arcs.
I'd love to have known how much this Prophetess did.
Well, the Falcon Horn really helps the Double Dragon game. Like it really does make.
This is true.
Yeah,
even at Leisure Pay is really strong.
Yeah. And let's be fair, with all those blocks of knights, he's taken up some serious real estate as well on the table. So you know it's hard to avoid all of that if you can't just fly over it.
True.
So that's interesting. Okay. I'm a fan. It's nice to see again a different kind of list doing well, especially if you didn't actually physically lose a game with this. So no one actually just battered it. So it shows that you don't need to just be all Green Knights and Flying Pegasus and cannons and stuff to do well. Okay, moving on to the second place list. What we got there, Tom?
We have got Wood Elves with High Elf allies. This is played by a guy called Paddy. There is no surname, so sorry, Paddy. I'll just run through it. We've got Glade Lord and the Dragon. We've got Spellweaver on a Warhawk. We've got 10 Glade Guard, 18 Dryads, 5 Deepwood Scouts, 5 Deepwood Scouts. And then we've got 1 unit of Sisters of the Fawn and 7 Wild Riders. Then we have in allies, we have a Noble and a Sky Cutter. We have 7 Illyrian Reavers and then another Sky Cutter on its own.
Okay. Well, first off, I didn't realize they allowed allies at this tournament. That is interesting because I think that opens up a completely different meta game when you start adding allies into armies. That changes quite a lot.
I mean, I don't know if there are any restrictions on the allies, but it's quite interesting that they have them because obviously they're typically normally banned, aren't they? So
Yeah.
I have to have a
It's
look at
interesting.
that.
So this guy, so he's got the standard Glade Lord, I'd say, hasn't he? There with the actually, he's got Dragon Slaying Sword, interesting, but he's got the Knights and Netlings, Mischiefs, Talisman, Meteoric Iron. So he's a tanky, nice tanky build, and I guess that he's got the Dragon Slaying Sword. I imagine either just one to have a magic weapon, also 2 just to help kill some big stuff.
Yeah.
Spellweaver on a Warhawk.
Well, the Warhawk's pretty good. The Warhawk is gives you the if you want to have a caster that's not stuck in a unit, the Warhawk is the best option because it gives you the option to not run away from terror. It means you can have evasive built in, and you have I think you have feigned flight as well. So it makes your spellcasting very hard to interact with. And he's also, I think, gives extra wound as well. So it's definitely for like a for
It's just plus 1 wound.
30 points or something. It's a very good amount.
What subtype is the Warhawk? Like what's
It's a monstrous cavalry.
monsters Cav? Okay.
So it has the 360 still. It's a really good mount. Really good mount. It's not the eagle. The eagle is a useless mount because it's monster. It's like sadly the one up is just like a completely terrible mount. Whereas the one below is the perfect one to have.
Yeah, so it can't be picked out as easily because it can hide amongst quite a few things, kind of like
Yeah, it can hide in the sisters of the Wild Riders. Yeah.
Illyrian Reavers.
Yeah, could do.
So a block of 18 Dryads.
Yeah, this was the bit that caught my eye, to be fair.
The Dryads, I mean, Dryads are not terrible. Like they're an okay skirmishing unit for a core unit. Like they're not terrible at all.
I mean,
You'd rather have the shooting, though, right? Like,
well, I mean, he's got 2 small Deepwood Scouts and a 10 Glade. You usually see Glade Guards just as 5s. Banner of Midsummer's Eve. That is
ignores cover.
Ignores cover.
Ignores cover.
And he's gone for Arcane Bodkins.
I mean, to be honest, he's taken the scouts you can take. He's taken the Glade Guard. There isn't that much more you can take in the core unless you want to just spam little 5-mans. And those units don't do that much damage. Like they just do a little, like a couple of wounds here and there. Whereas the Triad Brick gives you. I think they're stubborn.
They're stubborn.
They
skirmish.
The skirmishers, yeah. So they're a unit that can take a charge and not just fold instantly. They're okay.
He's gone for Swift Silver Shards on the Deepwood Scouts. Now, for someone who only ever knows of the 2 different types of bow upgrades there are, what are Swift Shiver Shards?
I think they're the magical attacks and ignore movement penalties or something like that. Like
hang on, bear with me 2 seconds. I've got it
I
saved.
think that's the one. That's what they are.
If it's not Arcade Bodkins or Hagbane's Tips, I have no clue. I'll be honest with
you. It's an option that you could take if you're going to be moving a lot. I believe they might also ignore cover as well. Like
Swift Shiver Shards. I'm sorry, this is what you said, Ramsey, but I was looking at it. It's multiple shots too.
Double shot one. Okay, interesting.
Shots 2. Okay. Okay.
Are Deepwood Scouts BS5 or 4?
4. You normally see that taken on the Way Watchers and on the characters because they have the higher ballistic skill. But interesting. I mean, gives you a few more shots.
Okay. What do you think he's getting out of this alliance with the High Elves?
maneuverability. Everything's really fast.
The Wood Elves have problems with maneuverability.
No,
I,
but
I think he's just taking it because maybe it's something he's got like a nice theme going. Maybe he's got some nice models for it.
There is an amazing Wood Elf Sky Cutter 3D printed model, right? And to be fair, if that's what he's using, because it's cool, I get it. I get that. But yeah, two Sky Cutters effectively. It's an interesting choice. I would like to see how that played.
Yep.
okay.
So, can you see the games that he played? What did he win? What did he go win, lost, draw wise? Can you see?
He went 4-1.
From
He
what?
lost. He lost 20-0 to the first place.
Was 20 till first place. Okay, well, we'll not give away what first place is just yet. But so he lost 20 0 to that. But then was his wins big as well that he won?
They were kind of he's got a few big wins and a couple of smaller wins. So it's
Was it a win-loss system primarily this event? Do we know? Or was it
couldn't tell you.
VPs?
I mean, I know VPs are going to be important because it's definitely ordered by VPs, but I'm pretty sure win loss was the most important thing.
Okay,
Without going to the pack, I don't know 100% for sure.
that's fair. Well, interesting list anyway to see second place. They're allowing allies in there at least anyway. Again, not your standard just Wood Elf list or Triple Sisters of Thorn that we might expect. Not yeah. So I'm quite interesting to see that go well. Do 4-1. Right then, what was next?
So we have first place list.
First place.
Yeah. So this was Akhtar Khan running Vampire Counts, and he's running level 4 Mortis Engine, another level 4 Mortis Engine. He's running 2 Tomb Banshees, a White Lord BSB, big Brick of Graveguard, 32 of them, 20 zombies, and then 10 Blood Knights.
10 Blood Knights.
So it's literally 3 units. 3 units in characters.
So do they go to the dragon counter? Blood Knight Dragons, Blood Dragon Knights.
So they are not bad. They can challenge out, very similar to Grail Knights. They can keep challenging dragons. They're just really hard to kill, the Blood Knights, and they give you the ability to keep bringing them back with the Necromancers.
Do you feel like you have to go 10-man with the Blood Knights so that they have the redundancy for bringing them back to make them?
You don't have to have 10, but you definitely want more. The more you have, the better. I mean, at this point level, you can just take as many as you want because you've got so many more rare points to play with. Because normally 10 of them is literally pretty much 500 points. Or you can run 9 with a banner. He's gone 10 and a banner.
With a razor standard.
Yeah, so
AP5 lances, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the reason because they've got a lot of a basic. What the razor banner lets you do is it lets you in a grind have a lot of AP, a lot of Armor Bane 2 or AP 1 with Armor Bane 2 attacks. So I can see that working okay. The Drakenhof banner, which we sometimes take on them, is not actually that good in them, I find, because their regen can get cancelled because they're flammable. Yeah. So it's better to have that on the Graveguard that he's got. So the other banners you got War Banner. I mean, War Banner's just okay. That's probably the best option to take if you want a bit more output on the unit.
The Razor Banner.
Yeah, it's not a terrible. I can see if you've got that many points spare, you might as well just make them even hittier.
Yeah, because they're obviously not that easy to kill. Are they? They're T4, 3-up save, 2-up save?
2-up save, yeah. They're really good. They're honestly the best knights in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're not easy to put down, and because they come back alive, that you don't mind to have them into a bit of a grind. You don't need to try and break people on the first.
They're great. They're fantastic grinding because they've got AP1 built in on their hand weapons.
Oh, do they have AP1 built in? So the Razor Banner is okay.
So okay. They're pretty good, and the weapon skill 5 base, so you can buff that to weapon skill 6 to 8. Really high initiative with the Mortis engines. They'll chop through most things, even in a grind. And with drill, you can go whatever formation you want. You can have them 10 wide or 5 wide, and like whatever. You just do whatever you want.
Really cool.
So, and the army is just it's a big point style army. He's got a 500-point brick of Graveguard. He's got a 500-point brick of Blood Knights, and he's got zombies that are going to raise up to 40 strong pretty quick. And then he's going to have 1,000 points of characters. So the list is trying not to give away any points.
I think he's got more than 1,000 points of character there.
Oh yeah, 1,100. He's got the extra 100 points just to round the list out. Because they're normally the problem you have with Vampire Counts at 2,000 points is you normally have to sacrifice something in the HQ, in the character section, to fit in everything you want. Because really, the two Mortis engines and the two Banshees kind of run the list. So normally, that White Lord, he's quite hard to fit everything you want on him, plus all the items that you want on the characters.
Do you need the White Lord in there for something?
The White Lord lets the Graveguard be core.
And
So,
has he got the perfect amount of what you'd want there in HQs, basically? I mean, you said you like the double Necromancer, the double Banshee, obviously.
yeah, I mean,
So Lord polishing it off.
he's still got a few points spare. I mean, I would have probably literally maxed every single point there possible. Like, I probably would have given him a Charm Shield. I probably would have, or perhaps even I would have upgraded one of the Necromancers to have the Lore Familiar. But I can see why 5 spells is really good. It just means you have to roll them, and sometimes that guarantee of having the spells you guaranteed want maybe is slightly better than 5 spells. But having the double ward save on them, the ruby ring as well. Normally, I never fit the ruby ring in because that's just it's like a pure luxury item. It's really nice.
So he's gone dark magic on one of these necromancers. What's your thoughts on that?
No, both necromancers in this list are both necromancies. I think that there's a fifth place list. I think that had dark magic maybe. And
The copy list we have over had dark magic on it.
Apologies, that's my bad.
So the dark magic is actually okay, like because
I thought you were buffing up the Blood Knights.
yeah. So what you would do is one thing you could do is I think one of the guys did do this, or perhaps another. I've seen people taking 2 level 4s and a level 2, and the level 2 with a Lore Familiar takes the spell, the Bloodlust, Battlelust, and then you make the Graveguard and the Blood Knights like turbocharge at that point.
Even zombies, anything with Bloodlust on makes it
Well,
whatever it is to that step up.
especially with Mortis engines and Van Hils, because then the zombies go to weapon skill like 3, 4, 5, and they also go to potentially weapon like initiative 5 or 6, and then they'll just start absolutely slapping. Yeah, they're really good. So it's a good list. It's definitely very defensive in terms of you have to play this list very carefully because you've only got 3 units to actually play the game with, plus some characters. So you have to play very carefully with every unit. But if you can't kill these big units in one go, he's bringing everything back because you're never stopping these Mortis engines from resurrecting.
He's got a way of protecting his sides and stuff like that from the Mortis engines. He's not bubbling like several units of zombies around himself, is he? So he's very much having to make sure he angles to the right place.
But he can use Raise Dead. He potentially could take Raise Dead as a spell and summon more zombie units in, which you could then add models to if you want to, and how they're playing that rule. But yeah, I think it's if you can, that's one of the things you have to try and manage. I'm assuming he's going to have probably Graveguard and a big brick on one side, Blood Knights in front of the other side, and then the zombies either behind or to one of the sides.
Yeah, depending on what
he's playing. Yeah, I mean, there might be a front screen, like we don't know. You could have just literally three big units in front of everything. It's a very hard list to deal with if you can't break through those gaps. Like if you jump a dragon over the top, then you're going to eat 4 screams, which is going to go bad for that dragon probably.
Yeah, no dragon's liking that.
No. It's a good list, but it's vulnerable to Wood Elves. I'm surprised, but looking at the Wood Elf list, there wasn't lists with 4 or 5 Pillars of Fire, which is a real problem for that list. It does not like Pillar of Fire.
So what you can see there was no one spamming the Pillar of Fires. There was no. What else to struggle with? Mass cannons.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Looking at the lists, I didn't see. I saw one Empire player. I believe there was an Empire player, but he wasn't running like max cannons and steam tank. He just had 1 cannon, 1 steam tank. If you're allowed to run 3 cannons and 2 steam tank cannons, 5 cannons is going to really be difficult. There's more than just going to struggle to stay alive against 5 cannons. Even Blood Knights don't like getting shot by 5 cannons. It's a lot. But yeah, it's a good list. If you haven't got the tools to deal with it, you are going to really struggle to get points out of it. And it's great at winning small as well in the tight games because it doesn't give away any points at all.
Yeah, I can't see how you easily get anything out of this points wise.
Yeah,
unless you get lucky with some snipes and somehow.
Yeah, I mean, the max you're getting really is potentially you might get the zombies because they do fall apart quite quickly once you get into them, but or maybe the Blood Knights if you get lucky and can kill them in one go. That's probably the only way you're getting any points out of this list. because the Graveguard are almost unkillable with the Drakenhof banner. I mean, 30 of them with 4 up armor, 5 up ward, 5 up region. Sorry, like, good luck with that. You're not killing them.
Yeah, it's a tough nut to crack. So did he go 5-0? Like,
He did go 5-0, yes, and he actually played the other vampire counts. Came 5th. He had a vampire off, and he won that. He won that 12-8. And the other vampire list was a much more, I would say, a more dynamic list because he had Crypt Ghouls, he had Vargeist, and he had like a vampire count on on an Abyssal Terror. So it's quite a bit more of a offensive list. It's interesting that the more defensive list won that narrowly.
Okay, interesting. So overall, I know that's 2,250 for the Australian one, but what are your thoughts on those sort of lists that were doing well in Australia there compared to the ones that we looked at there at the TSN?
They seem quite similar in that they both got all of them got lots of dragons that are kind of doing well, and then there's but I think the Bretonnians is different, isn't it? Because there wasn't any Bretonnians in that list. There's only 2 Bretonnians, whereas there's more Bretonnians in this list. They came coming 3rd and coming 7th in this tournament.
Which is a big difference from last weekend when we saw Bretonnians just winning absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
A lot of I think it's quite interesting the difference in the amount of dragons in between both countries. Like 7 in the top 3 here, and 1 over across the seas.
I think we took all Australia's dragons away from them, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Yep. Well, I think we'll wrap up there. So that was a nice little rundown of the UK, one of the UK tournaments, and one of the Australian tournaments. Seeing something from different countries, always interesting with different metas, different ideas. So I think we'll do this again next week. See what this following weekend brings of tournaments. Pick a couple of decent ones that to jump out of us. Are any of us attending any tournaments this weekend? Anybody we know?
No, unfortunately not.
Not for me.
Nope.
Are you going to go to one of the? Is it Coventry GT, James?
Oh, I'm looking at that one. Just working out how viable it is, but potentially.
Make it viable. Make it viable.
I wish. We'll see.
Right, well, thank you very much for joining us again, guys, for another episode of the Old World Show. And as I said, we'll bring you back next week with another rundown of tournaments, see what's changed, if anything at all, what's winning, what's not. And we'll see you soon. And
just very quickly as well, don't forget, if you like any of this, just put a note in the comments. If you don't like it, let us know as well. Its feedback is always appreciated.
Yeah, 100%. And if you've got any tournaments that you've got coming up that you'd like to have a look at as well, any lists and stuff, let us know. And that's something to check out and follow.
Cool.
See you soon.
Bye.